Alright, so part 2 of the Tao of Jeet Kune. This has no page number, but it's gonna be this part right here. Alright, so pay attention to what is being said, and then offer some reflection if you have any. The martial arts, including boxing. The martial arts are based upon understanding, hard work, and a total comprehension of skills. Power training and the use of force are easy, but total comprehension of all of the skills of the martial arts is very difficult to achieve. To understand, you must study all of natural movement in all living things. Naturally, you can understand the martial arts of others. You can study the timing and the weaknesses. Just knowing these two elements will give you the capacity to knock him down rather easily. Any reflection on that?
Yeah, I mean, the basic way, or at least how I hear it, is the science behind martial arts. Not necessarily, you know, it's not a weightlifting contest, or, I mean, the actual mastery of it. But like boxing, not to get off topic, kind of like, you know, Mayweather, you look at him, you know, he's not really the most imposing guy, but he understands how movement works, you know, force, timing, you know, what other people are trying to do, you know, how to work with or against that.
Yeah. One thing that stood out to me says, to understand, you must study all of natural movement in all living things. So he's not just talking about like human beings. He's talking about like all living things. And a lot of the kung fu, they study animals.
Right.
The animals are like kings of unarmed combat. You know what I'm saying? So like studying animals and how they move, the natural movements, like that's like the science. And like talking about natural, like animals don't have to go to martial arts schools. I mean, they move naturally, they fight naturally, and yet they're the best in unarmed combat. So there's clearly something to learn, you know, from animals, and how, you know, there's a lot for them to teach. You know, that's what it gets me to think about.
To add on to what you just said with that, like everything, even the science of how to build, like buildings and all that, you know, you don't build like a building like just straight up, no resistance. Like most buildings are built to move just a little bit, you know, so they won't break. Which kind of in the martial arts is like, well, certain forms and certain things, like, all right, don't overextend, you know, don't leave things out there. Don't put yourself in a position where you can be broken, you know, keep bent, keep, you know, structured.
Yeah. Okay. Next part. The heart of the martial arts is in understanding techniques. To understand techniques, you must learn that they contain a lot of condensed movement. This may look quite awkward. When you start to learn it, you will find that it is awkward to you. That is because a good technique includes quick changes, great variety, and speed. It may be a system of reversals, much like a concept of God and the devil. In the speed of events, which one is really in charge? Do they change places with lightning speed? The Chinese believe so. To put the heart of the martial arts in your own heart and have it be a part of you means total comprehension and the use of a freestyle. When you have that, you will know that there are no limits. What do you get from that one?
You're gonna have to elaborate. I don't really understand it enough to speak on it.
Okay. Alright, to understand techniques, you must learn that they contain a lot of condensed movement. What that makes me think about is like, it's like the 1-inch punch. It's like so short, but so powerful. And it can happen so quick that you don't even know what's going on. Or just not even just the 1-inch punch, but then like a basic jab like at high speed. And then compare that to like a hook at a different angle, but at high speed as well. Like just a really short hook, it's a condensed movement in order to make something effective, you got to condense the movement, because you make the movement too long, then it makes the speed less. If you condense the speed, it happens so quick, it's condensed, but your eye might not even be trained to see it because it's happening so fast. And, you know, when you start to learn it, you will find that it is awkward to you. So, if you're trying to learn the 1-inch punch, it's gonna feel awkward because you don't even know how to grasp the understanding of how to bring a lot of power in that short amount of distance. Because you're thinking, hey, you know, if I'm gonna have to hurt somebody, I'm gonna have to cock my hand all the way back and punch as hard as I can.
Right.
But to have that, to train yourself to have it in such a short distance and have a lot of power, it's gonna feel awkward because you're not used to that. You're used to making a lot of long range movements, you know. So that is because a good technique includes quick changes, great variety, and speed. So he's just going along with that. So quick changes is like a jab to like a cross to a hook, but like very, very fast, like so fast, you know. Variety, jab, cross, hook, uppercut, you know, kick to the shin, kick to the groin area, kick to the face. Like all these different changes and variety gets them like so confused that they don't know how to handle it. And it's like speed, quick changes, variety, and speed. So variety, like you're not just doing the same attack over and over and over. You know, jab, cross, hook, uppercut, kick to the shin, kick to the knee, kick to the groin area, kick to the face, roundhouse kick, front kick, side kick, hook kick, reversal kick. All these different changes and variety and speed. You know, so that's good technique. Let me see. To put the heart of the martial arts in your own heart and have it be a part of you means total comprehension and the use of a freestyle. When you have that, you will know that there are no limits. So the heart of the martial arts, it goes beyond style. It's like the martial arts is just like everything, like the whole thing. Like he's talking about the comprehension of everything. And in putting that in your heart, then you know that you cannot limit yourself to style because you're representing the whole martial arts. You know, so there's no limits. So there's no style because you're basically encapsulating the entire martial arts. There's no such thing as style when you encapsulate the whole thing. So it's like comparing, like, okay, say the Olympics just happened. You got the U.S., they won the most medals, right? Right. And then you got China number 2, and then like another country number 3, and then so on and so forth. All these countries have medals, but then the martial arts is not just the U.S. The martial arts is saying we're everything. Right. We're the entire freaking universe. You can't. There's not. We're everything. That's the martial arts. It's like everything. It's not like, oh, you know, the U.S. is best. Okay, so now I'm representing the U.S. That's like saying, oh, what's best? Boxing. Okay, I'm representing boxing. But that's still limited. Even though boxing's good, it's still not everything. Like it's just limited. Even though it's good, like U.S. is good, right? But it's still not everything. So martial arts saying, no, don't limit yourself to say that you're a boxer, or you're a Muay Thai fighter, or you're a cage fighter, or you're jiu-jitsu, or whatever. You're just everything.
I think it's like you said, I mean, all of it, like you said, Muay Thai, or Kung Fu, or Karate, Taekwondo, Judo, all of it is martial arts. So if you represent the martial arts, you represent all of it anyway. You're not just limited to, oh, well, I'm representing this, but I'm martial artist. Like, no, I'm a martial artist, and I represent it all.
Yeah. But like not just those man-made systems, but I just brought up the animals. Like the animals, they are the kings of the unarmed combat, and you study their movements. That's martial arts. The animals, the humans, just like everything, science, and putting it all together, and you're representing that. Like, you're not bound by any specific way. All right, next part. Precautions of physical techniques. Some martial arts are very popular, real crowd pleasers, because they look good, have smooth techniques. But be aware, they're like a wine that has been watered. A diluted wine is not a real wine, not a good wine, hardly the genuine article. Some martial arts don't look so good, but you know that they have a kick, a tang, a genuine taste. They're like olives. The taste may be strong and bittersweet. The flavor lasts. You cultivate a taste for them. No one ever developed a taste for diluted wine. So what do you get from that one?
What I get from it is kind of like, what's the saying? Flashy kicks and well, I don't remember saying anyway. It's kind of like you said. It's like, all right, it looks good, it's flashy, but it doesn't work. And the stuff that does work, like the real street stuff, it's not pretty at all. Like, it's actually horrifying. Like, it's kind of like bittersweet, like you're saying with olives. But people respect it because it's so potent that it works. You know, there's no denying it.
Yeah.
That last line was really funny. Nobody got a taste for, you know, diluted wine. It's kind of like the other stuff. Like, yeah, it's cool. Like, you know, it looks good, you know, but it's not what people gravitate towards. You know, people just accept it for what it is. You know, kind of like comparing like real fruit juice to like Tang or some shit.
Yeah. You know, like that's like the heart of what I feel Bruce Lee was representing. Was he's one of the very few martial artists out there that has become famous that actually stuck to the core of like, does it work? If it don't work, I don't want to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, does it work and does it have no rules? Because if it has rules, then I don't want to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Because he's like, martial arts, there's no rules. Like, you know, you do whatever you need to do. And that's what he really studied, and that was his art. And that's so rare because most people will practice something just to display something because, you know, this is what I could do and this looks nice. But Bruce Lee stuck to like, this is like the science of survival. And like some martial arts very popular, real crowd pleasers, and it gets me to think about something like Taekwondo. Like, it's really popular,
I didn't want to say
crowd
it,
pleaser. Yeah, but just like a lot of flashy kicks. Just it's an Olympic sport. It's everywhere you go. It's all around everywhere. Like, it's very popular. But that's not what Bruce Lee was doing. Bruce Lee was just about the science of like survival, and it's different, you know. Like, it also gets me to think about like gymnastics. Like I even like gymnastics as far as what they could do, but those are like just amazing things, like doing all these flips and all the iron cross and all this stuff, right? But that's like more acrobatic. And then the martial arts is, like, to me, it gets me to think about like the 100-meter dash, like Usain Bolt. It's not like the gymnastics, but you see, like, he's just running, but he's running so fast that like the whole world's like, dang, like, whoa, you know, like that's like you got gymnastics, which is a great art in itself, but that running, you're like, man, like everybody can run, but to run like Usain Bolt, you're like, man, like, yeah, that's like, woo, like that's like the Bruce Lee to me, like where it's not like flashy, but because he's going so fast, you're like, wow, like, you know, this is just amazing. So like, say if Usain Bolt had to run for his life, like he had to run this 100-meter dash in 10 seconds, under 10 seconds to live, otherwise he dies, then he lives. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But these gymnasts, they're doing all these flashy things, they can't run that thing in under 10 seconds, no way. You know, they can do all this flashy, but they can't, they die. So that's kind of like martial arts. It's like, you do all these flashy kicks, it looks nice, but when it came down to survival, you died. Because it wasn't about looking nice. It's about surviving, you know?
Right.
You know, so it's different. Like, I appreciate, you know, flashiness, but I know its place, you know? And you know what's the difference between survival and this, you know. So, I mean, I can see his point. Diluted wine, I mean, for example, like, I drink 100% juice, but I dilute the juice all the time because the juice is too strong for me. So I dilute the juice and I drink it. So, the olive, actually, I don't like olives. But I mean, I can understand his point. I can understand both, you know, like the survival aspect. Make sure you put time into that. Make sure you got that before you start working on that flashy stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't recommend to do all that flashy stuff, but then when it comes to the surviving, you don't know nothing. Like you get beat up. Then why even call yourself a martial artist if you can't even defend yourself?
Right.
Yeah, like you can do the flashy stuff, so then don't claim martial arts. Claim yourself as a gymnast, as a breakdancer. You know what I'm saying? But don't claim martial arts, because if you're a martial artist, you gotta have survival. That's gotta be under your belt. And then once you got that down, okay, let me throw in little sprinkles of flashiness, because I got that time, I got that energy, and I could do this. You know? Like make sure you can defend yourself before you start doing the iron cross and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, to add on to what you said about the Olympics, like Michael Phelps, go bottle water. Like you telling me right now, like you can do all this or that, or you're sideways and all that, but if he got out here like for real, like all right, it's swim or die. Like man, it's like he ain't make it. Like how? Right? You know what I'm saying? Like he couldn't do that butterfly swim, man. But I hear you. I mean, survival. That's what it is. There's nothing pretty about survival.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah. I mean, think about the animals. We go back to the animals. You got like the lion chasing after like the hyena. The hyena is literally running for his life.
Right.
If you don't run fast enough, he's dead.
Right.
So like, you know what I'm saying? Like 1 second too slow, he's dead. So like survival is like, you know, like you got to make sure you got this down. Like, hey, you know, this is just critical. Police officers, firearms training, weapons training, real martial arts. It's like this, like really, it's not flashy. It's just straight to the point. When you fight somebody in the streets, I always teach you guys, let's try to end that thing within less than 10 seconds. I mean, that's how fast it's got to happen. It's not the 3 rounds or the 12 rounds, 3 minutes each round. Let's wait for the advertisements to come up. You know what I'm saying? Let's have the ring woman go around holding up the... No, it's like, this is like, your life is on the line. You want to end this thing as soon as possible. Like the whole Usain Bolt thing. Under 10 seconds, you don't, under 10 seconds, the whole 10-second rule. Under 10 seconds, he's done. Right. You're like, we've been waiting 4 years to watch him. We all waited 4 years. We're going through all these advertisements, all this thing. During the start line, boom, in 10 seconds it's over.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's how it is. It's more like that. Real martial arts is more like that. Gymnastics, you know, you got all these different routines. You got the rings, you got the mat, you got the pommel horse.
It was presentation.
Yeah.
All that stuff. Did you land and...
Yeah.
You know, you ain't land right, man.
You know, like, I love gymnastics. I mean, I respect that, but I'm just saying it's not the same as what you're saying both do. You know what I'm saying? Right. I respect both, but real martial arts, is, according to what Bruce Lee's method and what I teach, is more like Usain Bolt. Now, gymnastics is more similar to like Taekwondo, you know, in my eyes. You know, the Olympics, you're training for the Olympics, you're training for flashy kicks, you're training for points, you're training for that gold medal. That's more like Taekwondo. That's different. You know, Bruce Lee is more like, okay, I can't do all those backflips, but I'm gonna whoop you up if need be. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like Floyd Mayweather, for example, in the boxing realm would kind of represent more straight to the point. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like, I'm just gonna outbox you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna outbox you. Usain Bolt, I'm gonna outrun you. And so it's just like, you know, this is showing the difference between the two, the flashiness and simplicity. Bruce Lee was obviously about simplicity, and I like that part. I like the simplicity, but the flashiness is fine, but you just gotta know how to prioritize what you're gonna put your time into, you know? Like, as far as martial arts is concerned, I feel that it's necessary for you to know the science and how to defend yourself before the flashiness. You know, because if you put flashiness first, then I would maybe say maybe you're a gymnast number 1 and then martial arts number 2. If you're a martial artist, you put survival first, then that would be like martial arts number 1, gymnast number 2. You know. All right. End it off with this last part. Acquired talent and natural talent. Some people are born with good physiques, a sense of speed and a lot of stamina. That's fine. But in the martial arts, everything you learn is an acquired skill. Absorbing a martial art is like the experience of Buddhism. The feeling for it comes from the heart. You have the dedication to get what you know you need. When it becomes a part of you, you know you have it. You succeed at it. You may never fully understand all of it, but you keep at it. And as you progress, you know the true nature of the simple way. You may join a temple or a kun. You observe nature's simple way. You experience a life you never had before. What do you get from that one?
The key word that I heard out of the whole thing is experience. Acquired talent versus natural talent. And I mean, having natural talent is great. And when you have, experience to go along with it, you acquire things along the way, how to use it. I think that's what he was trying to get at, that paragraph you just read. At least that's how I'm hearing it. I mean, it's great, don't get me wrong. You see people who have natural talents who it's like, man, they can do so much more if they utilize it or put it to use. Like, kind of how, like you said, with animals, like, they're born with natural talent, but it's like, all right, we know you're capable of hunting, but go out there and do it. When you see a lion actually in action, it's like, all right, we know what they're capable of. We can see the natural talent, but, with those experiences, like, how they've hunted, animals are intelligent. A lot of people kind of like, oh, well, they're just all physical. It's like, no, they know how to hunt, how to approach certain things. And I mean, with us, I guess we can take not just natural talent, but even with growing old, like, how do you deal with, having natural talent, how to use it to its potential without becoming just totally leaning on it. Kind of like older athletes, like, example, like Michael Jordan. It was when he was young, just dunking on everybody, and it was when he was older where it's like, man, I have to do something else to dunk. I have to learn something to, bring it all together. And that's what I'm getting from.
So what I get from it is, like, you're saying that some people are born with good physiques, speed, and a lot of stamina, but he's saying the martial arts is an acquired skill. So it's something where no matter if you come in like naturally gifted in physical or not, the martial arts should still be able to benefit you in some way, because the whole point of the martial arts is something that you have to work hard towards and develop. It's not something you're just born with. So obviously if you're born with physical talents and you combine that with the martial arts training, then that's the best. But if you're not born with physical talents, you can still develop that acquired skill, of the martial arts. This thing stood out to me as well. Absorbing a martial art is like the experience of Buddhism. So notice he didn't say Christianity or Catholicism. He's bringing something else to the table. When Bruce Lee says the Tao of Jeet Kune, the Tao is pointing towards the Tao. That's not what America's used to. They don't know much about Tao. And Buddhism, that's the key word right there. Buddhism. What is Buddhism? So if you want to study more about what Bruce Lee was actually teaching, then you need to look into Buddhism, into Buddhist teaching as well, because he's bringing up Buddhism. It's like the experience of Buddhism. So if you learn more about Buddhism, then you'll learn more about what absorbing martial arts is like. The feeling of it comes from the heart. So that dedication, you have the dedication to get what you know you need. So it's like martial artists, it's like this, their heart is drawn towards the martial arts. It's just in them. It's just, once it's in you, it's a part of you forever. you know, is in your heart. Like it just doesn't change. And that's kind of how I feel the martial arts is. It's just, it's either in you, it's either in your heart, or it's not. You know, and it's gonna show through time. Like if it's not in your heart, then you're just not gonna last. But if it's in your heart, it's you're it forever. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're like a lion. That's a lion. Like there's no change. You can't turn him into a giraffe. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a lion. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just, that's who he is. You know, like he's gonna eat meat. You know what I'm saying? Can't be a vegetarian. You know what I'm saying? Like
no apology.
This is a lion. You know. So if you're a martial artist in your heart, then that's what you are for life. Like there's no changing that. You know. When it becomes a part of you, you know you have it. You succeed at it. You may never fully understand it, but you keep at it. And that's how martial arts is, because when we talked about how it encompasses everything, how could you understand everything? It's impossible, you know what I'm saying? Because we talked about, we're not just Muay Thai, we're not just boxing, we're not just, you know, karate, we're everything. So if you're everything, how can you fully understand everything? You just don't have enough lifetimes to understand everything. So you know you'll never fully understand the whole universe, the entire martial arts, but you still keep trying. And as you keep trying, you keep building, and then your comprehension starts to expand, you know.
That part gets me to think just about change. Like, you know, you're not gonna be the same person you was at 9. I mean, physically, you're gonna literally be different from the time you were 9 to when you were like 15. From 15 to now, you're gonna be a totally, I mean, physically, you're gonna be different. And I mean, spiritually as well. Like, you're not gonna even think the same way you did at 15. Your whole scope on just the world and perception of things is gonna be different as well, just from experience. When we say that encompasses everything, like I said, we don't have enough time just in this world to fully understand everything, but like you said, until death, it's like you keep growing, you know, you never stop.
Yeah, and when you keep at it for so long, I mean, it's a shame that he died at 32, but he had so much wisdom for that age, just like Tupac, so much wisdom for his age. But if you keep at it for, say, like till you're 60, 70, 80, you're gonna be representing such a high level compared to the average that haven't been keeping at it, that a lot of people are gonna gravitate towards you, towards truth.
Right.
Because you're gonna be closer to it. You're not gonna have it because you can't have everything,
Right.
but you're gonna be closer to it than the average because you've been keeping at it for so long, you know, for all those years. And as you progress, you know the true nature of the simple way.
Hey, how you doing?
You may join a temple or a kun. You observe nature's simple way. You experience a life you never had before. I think it's interesting how he brought up kun, because I haven't read his books for like many, many years. And I'm the only one, like really, that kind of uses the kun word, because I'm trying to...
I didn't even know what the word meant until I went to school, seriously.
yeah, I mean, I was trying to represent the kun word, because when I opened up the school, I had to look into like the history of the Chinese martial arts and their terminology and everything. And it's not dojo, dojo's Japanese, it's kun from the Chinese. You know, so like I've been using the word kun because I wanted to represent the Chinese culture, the Chinese ways. And you don't hear anybody else saying that. It's always like dojo, gym, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But kun is like, it's cool to really see Bruce Lee saying kun as well, and how we have that connection right now. We're trying to bring something else to the table. You know, just like he just brought in Buddhism. He didn't say Christianity. Don't be like, hey, you know, oh yeah, Bruce Lee, oh, it's the same thing, Buddhism is the same thing as Christianity. No, it's not. Then why are they labeled differently? You know what I'm saying? So, and then somebody says, oh, you know, this is a dojo. No, it's not a dojo, it's a kun. Oh, it's karate. No, it's not karate. It's my kung fu, you know, so we got these different labels for a reason. So he's using these labels to differentiate that what he's teaching is not the average thing that people are used to, you know, what they see out there, you know. As you progress, you know the true nature of the simple way. You observe nature's simple way. So it's like the true nature of the simple way is just the efficiency of combat. Like like what's simple is pretty much what's gonna work when it comes to survival. It's not that fancy. You know, once again, it brings me back up to the same Bolt, thinking about him, also thinking about Bruce Lee, like how quick and efficient all his techniques were. And that's kind of what we're trying to aim for when we're training. Is efficiency, simplicity, and then like observing nature's simple way, like sitting here by the water, by nature, is closer to the Tao, closer to the way of the martial arts, you know. It's relaxing, it's peaceful, you know. And experience a life you had never had before. It's like when you learn to appreciate the simple things in life, you'll start to experience life like you never did before. Like that's like the art of meditation. It's like appreciating a simple walk, a simple talk, or just simple stretching, simple training. It's just like you can just do that and you'll be happy. You don't need to like go on vacations and spend a bunch of money to appreciate the simple things in life, you know. And meditation is bringing that to the table. It's like you experience life in a whole different way, because now you can just look at the sky, take a fresh breath of air in, and then you can just appreciate it, you know. And you'll see life so differently when you do that. But any closing thoughts?
You should just see life, like appreciate it. I see a lot of people, and actually I got this from you. I remember you had told me like how Eastern philosophy appreciates both the positive and the negative. A lot of people see negative as just that, like, oh, I don't want any negative or bad things to happen, but it's like, no, that's part of it. Like it sounds sick, but there's beauty in death. You know what I mean? Like people are like, oh, I don't, like, that's part of life. You have to take it all. You know, if you want life, if you appreciate life, you gotta appreciate death as well. You know, or negative, and you can turn them into positive. Like, oh, well, you know, you could have had a situation where you, quote unquote, lost your job. It's like, well, you didn't like your job anyway. That negative could have been the best thing that ever happened to you. You know, you could take that and like, man, you're doing something you love to do now, and you don't even think about that anymore. Like, I have friends with that kind of experience, you know, and it's like, you know, the martial arts is like that. Like the training and all that stuff is like, oh, well, I don't like getting hit. It's like, well, work hard. You won't get hit. But that's my final note.
Okay, that's good.